And what better man to sort them out than, of course, this gentleman, one of the busiest men in the National Football League, and that's Sal Paolantonio, the host of the NFL Matchup Show. Sal, how you doing? All right. Somebody's not mic'd. Sal, you got your mic on? Are you muted?
You got it? We're there
Hey,
on my angle. Yep.
Got you
Got
now.
me, guys? All right,
Thank
good.
you very much.
Yeah,
all right,
I got
so
it finally.
now,
All right, so I had a Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. We got a busy final 2 weeks of the NFL season.
Yep. You certainly do, Sal. You certainly have a busy final. At least this week you're going to be.
This week's a big week for sure. Especially, I'm just studying this Eagles team, Pat,
right.
And the final 2 games. It's incumbent upon any team at the end of the season to figure out what they have to do to get ready for the postseason. Now, let's remind people of a couple of things. First of all, Kansas City lost at home. The Super Bowl champs lost at home on Christmas Day. The San Francisco 49ers, the number 1 seed in the NFC, lost at home. The Eagles survived and won a football game at home. That's the important distinction for people to realize. They did not play their best football, yet they survived. Also, draw the contrast or draw the comparison to 2017 in the month of December when they won the Super Bowl. After switching from Carson Wentz, who got hurt, blew out his knee in L.A.,
right,
to Nick Foles, they were playing horrible football. They were underdogs going into the playoffs. This Eagles team is not in a dissimilar situation, but they do have their starting quarterback. I get it, but they've had so many changes on the coaching staff and so many injuries, especially in the secondary. No team with a winning record has had more injuries to their secondary than the Philadelphia Eagles. You got guys playing in the secondary who weren't on the team in October.
Right.
In November.
Yeah.
And so you have a coach who's just stepped in. It is really a testament to their resilience. Now, do I like some of the stuff that I'm hearing out of NovaCare? No, I do not. I would like to see them do things with a little bit more joy. They are in a very good spot, all things considered.
Right.
It's super hard to get back to the Super Bowl. Everybody knows that. For a coach and quarterback that has lost their debut in the Super Bowl to go back and win it ever. It's only happened once. Happened in 1970 with Hank Stram and Len Dawson. We're going 53 years ago, Pat. You and I remember that. Xander doesn't remember that.
That's certainly
Sean
true.
Green doesn't remember that. He'll remember that. Ray Dinger, when he's on later, he'll remember that. But, it's happened once, Pat. So this is a super hard thing for them to do, especially considering the secondary reconfiguration constantly this week. I would say people just relax, and I would say that to the Eagles too. I didn't like what I heard from Devontae Smith. I'm not happy. I didn't like what I heard from A.J. Brown. I don't want to talk after the game. I have nothing nice to say. Listen, you won on Christmas Day when the Chiefs and the Niners lost. Be happy about the win and figure out what you have to do better. And so there are 2 things in my view that they have to do better.
All right.
Number 1 thing, and I know we talked about this earlier today, and I sent you this notes. They have to be better and more creative on third down defense. Their third down defense is struggling compared to last year. Last year, their sack rate was number 1 on third down, 18%. This year, their sack rate is 6.7% on third down. That's second to last in the league. That's 31st in the league. You have a new defensive coordinator who's not blitzing.
There you go.
He's not blitzing on third down specifically. Matt Patricia only blitzed Drew Lock 8% of the time in Seattle.
Right.
Now, obviously, I think, and Sean Desai wasn't blitzing either. Overall, this year, they're blitzing about 20% of the time. Now, I'm not saying you blitz like Buddy Ryan. We're not looking for the 46 defense. But you need to be as creative as you possibly can to get pressure. and not just play safe because you're afraid your secondary is going to give up the big play. They have given up the big play, and they haven't been reliable. But they need to be better on third down, more creative. And on offense, and this is going to drive all the cognoscente crazy, this team needs to run the ball on first and second down. Pat, the Eagles rank 4th in the NFL in success rate when they run it on the early downs. The film study shows it. The analytics show it. One would assume that when you're that good at something, you'd major in it, but they don't. They drop back to pass at an above average rate on first and second down.
Right.
Those empty plays put them behind the chains, behind the sticks, and force Jalen Hurts into turnovers that he wasn't producing last year.
Right.
It's had a trickle-down cascading effect.
Okay.
They're not a good running team, Pat. Pat, they're a great running team, and they're a great running team on first and second down. So I'm with the fans at Lincoln Financial Field chanting "run the ball." Now, I would like them to calm down so that they're not drowning out Jalen Hurts' cadence, and that's up to Jalen to get them to calm down when they're at the line of scrimmage. But I'm with the fan. The Philly fans are smart. They understand what's going on with their football team. They're a great running team. They need to run the ball on first and second down, take the pressure off Jalen Hurts, who's only really throwing to 3 players right now. He's throwing to Smith and Brown and Goddard, and basically that's it.
Right.
So they got to do better on third down on defense and better on first and second down on offense.
All right, Sal, when we get back, I want to flesh out that run comment that you're making, the whole theory you have about running the ball. And
Pat, it's not a theory, Pat. The numbers are there. The analytics are there. The film study shows it.
Okay.
They are an excellent running team on first and second down.
So I want to flesh out, though, why they're not doing it. And I also want to talk about Mr. Hurts and what he has to do, if anything, in your opinion, to maybe what alterations he might have to make. And then I want to look around the league with you, especially that game you're covering Sunday, Dolphins and the Ravens. We're going to do all of that next with Sal Paolantonio on This Week in Pro Football, presented by Kennedy Ford. Welcome back. This Week in Pro Football. Pat Kelly here, joined by the best in the business. That will be Sal Paolantonio from ESPN. Sal, I want to augment that discussion now that you just started relative to running the ball. You were kind enough to send me some notes in which included is this, that Jalen Hurts has the 4th most difficult set of what are called early down throws in the whole league. Now, can you...
Pat, that's unbelievable. And who are the other 3 quarterbacks? They're Bryce Young. They're the guy from Oakland, from the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, right?
O'Connell, right?
Right. And who was the third one? It was Sam Howell.
Sam Howell, the Commanders, yeah.
So, Pat, that is not a group of quarterbacks you want Jalen Hurts lumped in with. Please repeat that to your audience because, Pat, that is the key. That's the key metric here. Repeat it again, please.
He has the 4th most difficult set of what are called early down throws in the entire league, meaning that the Eagles are choosing plays for him to throw the ball on first and second down that are the most difficult to complete by whatever metric there is.
All right, and now, so think about that for a second. So let's parse the sentence that you just said. The Eagles are choosing throws.
Right.
Now, we don't know that to be true. It could be, and we've heard Nick Sirianni say a couple of times in the last 2 pressers, Jalen has autonomy at the line of scrimmage. We've heard that, right? So we can safely assume that it's not all on Brian Johnson in his design or play calling, or Nick Sirianni or Jeff Stoutland, who has a hand in this, that some of this is because Jalen Hurts is getting out of runs on first and second down and choosing these difficult throws, which is clear if you watch people break down the Eagles offense like Brian Baldinger does a good job of it. Go on Brian Baldinger's X account and look at how he specifically breaks down the passing game on early downs, and Jalen has throws underneath that he's not throwing that are available to him. So there's a lot going on here. And it shouldn't be happening as we go into week 17 with 2 weeks to go, but it is.
Yep.
And it's okay that it is. So you have to fix it.
Yep.
He has the fourth most difficult early down throws in the NFL. And the other three quarterbacks are Bryce Young, Sam Howell, and the young man from the Las Vegas Raiders. So, I mean, you don't want to be in that category with those quarterbacks.
Right. That's not company you want to be in. But
no, especially if you have Super Bowl aspirations, which the Eagles do. So they got to fix that. And the one way to fix it is to do what they do well on first and second down.
Sal, look, the brotherly shove, I know it's a very unique play, Sal, but it's a play in which the offensive line fires off and basically just pushes the entire defensive line back. They're so skilled at it. If the Eagles would run more, Sal, out of the I formation, they never run out of the I formation. And if they would do that, Sal, wouldn't it by definition limit Hurts' ability to change the play to a pass?
Well, why do you think they had pistol formations last week against the Giants? You know, Sirianni was asked about that after the game. Why you got pistol formations? Well, there's your answer, Pat. You're a smart guy. You know your football. By the way, I checked out ESPN stats and information. And as always, you are correct, sir. The Lions would get the NFC's number 2 seed ahead of the Eagles if both teams went out because the Lions would have the better record against common opponents.
Common opponents. How about that, Sal? Oh, boy.
Wow.
That's hard to believe.
But you know what, Pat? I'm looking at this playoff machine, which I just discovered because you told me about it. And I'm on ESPN, but I should obviously be involved in it a little bit more. But if they get the 2 seed,
right,
Seattle could come in, and I don't like the Eagles matchup against Seattle. I never have. I don't like it. Pete Carroll's 20 and forever against the Eagles.
Yeah.
But if if they get the 3 seed, your beloved Los Angeles Rams come into Philadelphia, Pat. Yeah. Now that'd be called the Pat Callahan Bowl, right there.
That would be the Callahan Bowl, and I know that you'd want to sit right next to me, Sal, so that when the objects start getting thrown, I know you want to be standing.
I will clearly buy you a ticket.
I'm
sure.
with you. All right.
But we'll get you in a suite so you'll be somewhat protected.
Thank you.
But you will not be able to wear a jersey for sure.
No jersey.
Allow that.
Come on. I'm 65 years. No more jerseys. That's it. We're done with it.
If you want to be at home, I will petition the powers that be to watch the game with a camera at the Callahan house.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. All right, no sound. You can have the camera, but you better not have any sound. Hey, Sal,
cutaways. We'll call it cutaways to Callahan. That's what we'll call it.
A word about Jalen Hurts. It's something you and I have had a dialogue on all season, Sal. Now, if you look at his stats, Sal, now I know stats don't tell the whole story, but his 2023 stats, he's 65. I'm comparing 15 weeks of 23 to all of 22. 65.5% completion. Last year, 66.5. 242 yards per game. Last year, 246. 20 touchdowns this year, 22 last year. 34 sacks this year, 38 last year. They're almost identical. What is it about Hurts' game this year which has so many Eagle fans either puzzled or concerned about his level or style of play?
You know, Pat, I think it was just the pre-Christmas 3-game losing streak that put people into a funk.
Right.
People anticipated the San Francisco game would be tough, but they didn't expect to get boat raced at Lincoln Financial Field. Okay.
Right.
They thought they would beat Seattle. They had it on their racket and they blew it.
Right.
So those were the 2 shockers for sure.
Right.
Those were the 2 shockers.
Yeah.
Right. We all knew that it would be tough, but they didn't realize it would be this tough. And the other thing is, there's just no esprit de corps.
There you go.
Right now,
Right.
And that is because even Nick Sirianni mentioned it. He said it. I need to be less tense on the sideline.
Right.
The whole incident with the security guard Dom DeSandro left a bad taste in people's mouth about what's going on the sideline.
Right.
You have Hassan Reddick yelling at coaches.
Exactly.
And then you have Jalen Hurts saying at the press conferences, I'm not happy. We're striving for something better. You know, you need the number one thing that people want out of sports and out about their teams is they want you to bring joy to the arena. And it's incumbent upon the leaders of the team, no matter how much the team is struggling, to understand the context of the season. And the context of the season and this football team is they are a talented team. They have one of the best wide receivers in the league, one of the best running backs in the league, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Their head coach has a great record in his first 3 seasons. They have talented players and a talented coaching staff. They hit a skid. They made some big mistakes. They got to get it right. And I would just implore people to remember this. The Kansas City Chiefs, you got Andy Reid bumping Travis Kelce on the sideline.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs lost to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I know.
And San Francisco coughed it up 5 times to Baltimore. And Patrick Queen, their linebacker, in the bowels of the stadium in Santa Clara after the game is saying these words. A lot of teams want to play basketball on grass. We're not about that. We're going to hit you in the mouth.
Right.
He said that in their own stadium.
Right. Very interesting. Yeah.
Pat, so put it all into perspective, okay? Do the Eagles have stuff to fix? Yes. Is it fixable? Absolutely it is fixable. I think it, without a doubt, is fixable. They're double-digit favorites against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cardinals are going to give them any problem whatsoever. However, I think Tyrod Taylor and the Giants, the last game of the year, that will be a very difficult game.
Yeah. I think that, and I have said it, I said it about the Giants game, it didn't happen. If the Eagles could affect a blowout of the Cardinals, I think, Sal, psychologically, it would fix a lot of problems. I think the entire team would exhale.
They don't need a blowout, Pat. They just don't need to turn the ball over. Right. And they need to do what they are capable of doing. Right. And I really want to see, listen, I want to see, and I know this defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia. I have studied him. I've written about him in my books. I know him very well. I want to see his blitzes on third down. I want to see the pressure packages and his creativity on third down against Arizona and against Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, right. Okay. All right, Sal, we got 2 minutes left. Let me let's go around the league here. We got 2-minute warning here. Give me your thoughts on.
Pat, we could do this for 3 hours, Pat.
I know. Lions Cowboys Saturday night. Big game. Obviously, we just got done talking about why. Dallas coming off 2 losses, Sal. They looked terrible against Buffalo.
Lions are going to lose Saturday night. Dallas is going to beat them Saturday night.
All right. Because I'm not sold. Jared Goff he's a dome quarterback, Sal, but he's only one particular dome quarterback, and that is Detroit. So yeah, I don't have much confidence in Detroit's ability to get down there and win that game. And then Sunday, Sal, you are covering a huge game in the AFC. Miami goes to Baltimore. Miami, Sal, finishes up at Baltimore and then Buffalo. That is a tough finishing stretch for the Dolphins. How do you see that game Sunday?
Well, I think the Miami Dolphins are in trouble. Looks like they're not going to have Jalen Waddle to go along with Tyreek Hill. Looks like Adam Schefter is reporting that Waddle is not going to play in the game on Sunday against Baltimore. And what Adam Schefter reports is locked solid. So they've got problems. Lamar Jackson is 9-0 at home in the month of December in his career. 9-0.
All right.
So that's pretty significant. That's pretty significant. Yeah. So they're playing at a very high level defensively. But Pat, this game is the modern NFL. This game, the modern part 2. Part 1 was Monday night in San Francisco, because the Niners are the second highest offensive motion team in the NFL. The number 1 pre-snap motion team in the NFL is the Miami Dolphins. Right. And the number 1 post-snap motion on defense in the NFL is Mike McDonald's defense in Baltimore. And that Baltimore defense looks a lot like, it's like son of Rex Ryan, which Rex Ryan was son of Buddy Ryan.
Yeah.
When Mike McDonald took over, I would imagine that Mike McDonald went down into one winning drive there in Owings Mills, Maryland, and said, "Get me to the Rex Ryan vault.
Right.
Let me see what Rex Ryan did."
Right.
And instead of having one inside linebacker in Ray Lewis, he's got two in Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. And how in the world
I know
the Ravens got Roquan Smith from the Chicago Bears? I don't know. You watch Roquan Smith. I mean, he is a grizzly bear on roller skates, man. That guy is insanely good.
I know. All right. And Sal, one last thing. Congratulations to you. I know you've been leading the charge. Eric Allen makes it to the Hall of Fame finalist list. I think that's terrific. And
well, it was a real team effort. Paul Domowitch, Old Daily News columnist, is leading the charge. I'm helping him. Reuben Frank did a great job. John Ganoda, the Eagles PR department, did a great job. We all made phone calls. We all put out leaflets. Frank Cooney out in California, because Eric Allen finished his career with the Old Oakland Raiders. Right. He's helping us. Pat, it's tough. You know, he is 18th year eligible. 18. And we finally got him into the room. The meeting is January 19th. We got 20 days. Everybody get out on social media on Eric Allen. Just push it. You're gonna have Ray Didinger. Ray Didinger is the godfather of the NFL Hall of Fame. He's the one that got Tommy McDonald in.
Right.
And Ray will talk to you about how tough it is to get from 15 to 5. It's hard. Right. So everybody get on social media for Eric Allen. Push.
All right. Well done by you, and I appreciate you taking all this time. I held you late, but I do appreciate it very much. And I hope you're popping a lot of B12 there, Sal. You got a busy weekend, and Happy New Year to you.
Hey, Pat, I don't give away my secrets. Blueberries, Pat. A lot of blueberries and pasta. That's what I do.
Very good. Very good, pal. Appreciate it very much, Sal. Safe travel, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks again. All right. The great Sal Paolantonio joining me now. We got another great one coming up now, and that would be the erstwhile Sean Green. A lot to digest from Sal. We'll do that. We're going to talk to Sean about Jalen Hurts and about some key games and where his take is as we hurtle towards the end of the NFL season. We'll do that all next here on This Week in Pro Football, presented by Kennedy Ford.